Interest income is the amount earned for lending money. Okay, so when you lend money, of course, there is a so-called income. Then last part of the major accounts is the expenses. We do have the cost of sales. It's the cost of goods purchased and sold merchandises or sold manufactured. Okay. So for example, I've been selling this ruler for amount of 15 pesos, but the cost of sale is 12 pesos. So therefore, there is a markup price of this ruler just because the original price or the cost of sales will be 12, then I will be adding the markup cost of 3 pesos. So therefore, the selling price is 15 pesos. Advertising expense or expenses incurred to promote the product of the business, such as the radio ads, we have the billboards, we have the TV commercials. Those are the parts of the companies that part of the expenses of the companies that helps in the marketing program. We also have the salaries as explained a while ago on the payables. Utilities expense are expenses incurred for light, water, and consumed during the operations of business. During our face-to-face, we have actually been explained about the utilities, the water, the telecommunications, and the light. Those are the considerable accounts title when we are trying to interpret and record it to journal. Now, the question is, we know, sir, on how we are going to interpret the different transactions. We have been handed the two columns journal, and the question is how we are able to record those transactions, those dates, and figure. As presented into your screen, this is the interface or this is the look of the journal. We do have the two columns. And first, we need to identify what page of general journal we consume. Why? Because this will be the references of you once you are going to step into the second step, which is the posting to the ledger. Okay? Then we also have what? To define what year indicates on the transaction. So therefore, there is a given 2020 here. That is for example. Now, we also have been given the month of this, the January, and we have to indicate what date of the certain month does the transactions be held or interpreted. So after this, we need to identify what types of major accounts and what are those possible accounts title that we are going to write it in our journal. We have the double entry bookkeeping na tinatawag. So first, we have the cash, considering that this is an example. So therefore, we do have the so-called cash. Then that is the first title. Then the second title, it is important to indicate the indented part because this is considered as what? The credit side. Then afterwards, if these two accounts title will be interpreted during the analyzation of your problems, then we can have the explanation. It is important, guys, to have the explanation in each of your transactions so that it will help you what happened on the transaction. So it's always starts with to record. Then what happened? For example, to record the investment of the owner. Okay. Then the next one is the PR. PR stands for the posting reference that might be found on the chart of accounts such as 101, 201, 302, 405, and the likes. Okay? But in the first step, the general journal, once you are having your journalization, you need to what? Not indicate first the posting reference, because we will indicate the posting reference once we are on the step 2, once we are on the posting reference. Okay. Next, we have the two column, the so-called debit and then credit. The debit and credit amount must be equal at all times in any of the transaction. If there are lackings or deviations or errors found on the journal, then therefore it must not be balanced on the last part of it, or it must be shown the balance of it. Now, in terms of writing, we do have to start on the what? On your right side. Okay? So normally, the first column will be identified as the centavo. So we do denote the centavo as the hyphen or the minus sign on the middle of it, or we can use 00 for this, because some other transactions have their 0.50, 0.75, 0.35. Okay? Then we can start writing on the next to the left. Okay? For example, we have the 1,000. Okay? So it starts with, on the right of yours, 100, 1,000, 0, 0, 0, and then 1. Okay? So that is the standard way on how are you going to write the figures on your journal. Okay? Then, if you're done with the first transaction, always leave one space, then try to what? Write the date. Only the date. For example, number 3 or January 3. Do not indicate January, not unless you are done with the first page. Once you are done and you fill out everything on the first page, then go along with the second page. Do not forget to write the page number and another year and month of the current transaction. Okay? So that's it for the lesson for this topic. So I hope you guys learn about the transactions and even the how are you going to uh, Ayan, the writing of journal. Okay? So that's the end of our topic for today. Thank you guys for listening.